So still here, the Cosmology of Black Resilience is a show that Marie and I together curated, concepted, and worked on to basically respond to a lot of the social unrest that's been going on, a lot of protests. It's been a tough year for everyone. And so this is like just a place for artists to express themselves and then share their own stories and also share their tales of resilience.
It's interesting that the Still Here title just came from talking about what was going on in the world and the pandemic, as well as the uprisings and the unrest. And we just looked at each other and said, you know what, but we are still here. Like, regardless of what's happening in the world, we are still here. And as Black people, we continue to be resilient and we continue to show up for each other. And so that then spawned the concept.
I was contacted about the opportunity to be a part of it. I've known Ebony for a very long time. And I love the theme, I love the idea of it. I think my work about resilience and what I do as an artist fits the theme pretty well.
So in each of these pieces, you see stories. Like, you may look at it for a second and you just see something beautiful, but then you sit in front of it and you take it in and you see there's a lot of information that the artist is trying to share with you. So there's Changing Frequencies. They did a performance for the opening, so that was a part of our virtual opening reception. Marie and Jamay Griffith, they actually filmed inside of the Conservatory, so inside of the greenhouse, and that is going to premiere on February 19th, so that'll be a virtual performance. And then we also have poets that are participating in storytelling in the park. That's going to be the 20th, yeah.
Just wanted to make sure we could engage with each other as artists and keep each other working, frankly, to keep each other working, and then engage with the public. I think there's always a big sense of community, right? So you're not only, you don't get where you are by yourself, and so it's important to look around and see, you know, who's been there and who do you want to support, or also who hasn't had enough opportunities, and to just make sure to always make space for those who are coming up behind you, those who are around you. So I think that's a big part of this exhibition.
It's kind of incorporated sewing, sometimes stitching on canvas. I've gone back and forth, but then I started working with the embroidery. And there was a lot of reasons for that. Number one, like I said, I kind of started thinking about quote unquote my roots, i.e. I like clothes, I like fabric, I like sewing. My work in the past has always dealt with vintage image of African American women, from, like I said, I would say Victorian age unto, you know, maybe the mid-century. And so I've always looked at those women. One of my first women, you know, Lena Horne, loved her, I loved Josephine Baker and all of that, but I was looking at these vintage images. I knew of this person. Well, she was the godchild of Queen Victoria of England. Mm-hmm. That's who this Lady Sarah is. She's the godchild of she was given as a gift to Queen Victoria, but Queen Victoria pretty much took care of her. So she just kind of raised her as her own. I've always loved that image. So I did this. I said, well, I'm gonna work with this. And then the tatting, that's my tatting. You know, that's me incorporating my tatting on it. I mean, it's the first one that I did on tulle. I've been doing some stitching on and off, but it's one of the first ones. And so that's why I like this one so much. It's kind of, because it's like everything kind of started coalescing at that point. I still like it. I still think there's a lot I can do with it. I think there's a lot to be said for it. Mm-hmm. But that's why I want to do this one. And, you know, I just use lace, but I love the idea of layering. I've always liked the idea of layers, of things blending together, putting things on top and it creates this entire, you create a picture. Mm-hmm. Layering is structure too.